Here they are on the Speedway for their main event, the vintage Flathead Modifieds. These race cars are definitely a throwback, even further throwing back into our early decades of modified racing. These cars utilizing Flathead V8 engines in 1940s and 1930s style Chevrolet and Ford coupes. Getting ready to come down the front straightaway. They're going to wind the engines up, these old Ford Flatheads. And we are underway going into turn number 1. It's the number 12 sliding just a little bit. 53 right behind him with a little bit of damage on it last night. The car was involved in a practice crash here at the Concord Motorsport Park. Good to be able to see the driver, the number 53, make it back out, able to repair that machine, and now runs in the second spot. The 12 continues to lead here with the 53 running in second, and it's the number 6 in the third spot. We do want to thank everyone for coming out here and showing their support for the North-South Shootout this weekend here at the Concord Motorsport Park. Want to thank a special thank you to John Boy and Billy Genuine Mountain Spring Water, as well as Pabst Blue Ribbon Beer and Sagebrush Steakhouse. They all came on board to make this such a great event and a fun weekend for everyone here in the North Carolina area. Number 5 in your monitor coming down the front straightaway. You can see how that car just weebles and bobbles just a little bit. Very heavy race car, very top heavy, and they still utilize that old Flathead V8 engine. If you want to know what a flathead is, well, it's kind of different than what the conventional cylinder heads on a race car are. When they say flathead, that's what they're talking about, the cylinder heads. The flathead engines are just a flat plate that goes over the combustion chamber of the engine. There are no valves, there are no valve springs in the heads, and it all is inside the engine block itself, unlike the V8 engines that race today, which have valves inside the heads, moving rocker arms, and valve springs. One car pulls off down on the inside. That's the number 85. Tough break for him as we watch some of the leaders coming through the lap traffic. The 53 makes it past. The 19 going into turn 3. You can see these cars, how big and heavy they were. Just push up the track like they did so many years ago when they raced here and many tracks around the area in the North Carolina region. 53 in your monitor. You can see the damage and the duct tape on the back end of that race car. Tough break for that driver yesterday. Got involved in a little bit of a melee. Ended up spinning into the outside retaining wall, dented up the back end of that car. You can see some of the damage on the back of that race car. Tough break for him, but he continues to run in the second spot.
Just on the finish for the one-hand. The truth of next,
Truck division is up next. Doug Smith is going to be on the mic. He's going to join us in just about 10 laps as we've reached the halfway point here in this 20-lap vintage Flathead modified race that finds the 12 out in front. You can check out the Concord Motorsport Park sport trucks that are going to be out here, the pro trucks, I'm sorry. And Doug Smith will be on the mic in just a moment to call all of the racing action. Still got the leader leading the way, the gray number 12, as he charges into turn number 2, has led since the drop of the green, sat on the pole, and so far has never looked back. The 53 runs in that second spot. You can see a nice tight shot of that gray number 12, primed gray, coming down the front straightaway, chasing some of the back markers into turn number 1. Some lap cars out there, and they just pulled up the leader just a little bit. He's going to sneak on past the number 15. As in just another 2 laps, you are going to see the 5-lap signal come out from your starter, Smokin' Randy Smith. The black flag is being unfurled for one driver out there, getting ready to see who's whose number gets posted up on the board. Don't know who's getting black flagged out there as of yet, but we will be sure to find out for you. As here comes the 16 down the front straightaway, another car that is running in mid-pack right now, threatening to go a lap down. But the next time by, when your leader in the number 12 hits the stripe, there is going to be only 5 more laps to go. 5 more laps to go for these vintage Flathead modifieds that have not raced in competition for about a good 30 years. Some of these race cars indigenous to the Carolina area, possibly Virginia, where some of the modified racing was run in the early days. North Carolina now becoming a hotbed of late model stock racing competition, as the modifieds are now the new open attraction here this weekend at the Concord Motorsport Park. And we brought out modifieds from all eras, from the 70s, from the 60s, from the 50s, and even the 40s, as these Flathead V8 vintage modifieds race around the Speedway for their final race of the weekend. 17 laps now going up on the board for the number 12 as he runs down into turn number 1. We do want to remind you that the racing this weekend has been brought to you by Pabst Blue Ribbon Beer, John Boy and Billy, Genuine Mountain Spring Water, and of course, Sagebrush Steakhouse. All of the events this weekend have been put on by CNC Racing Promotions. Charles Kepley and the entire gang at CNC Racing Promotions putting together a fine weekend of north-south modified racing. White flag is out, ladies and gentlemen. Just one more lap around the park for the number 12. We're going to follow him around, but the number 15 has seemed to close up some ground in the waning stages of this race. We had a last lap pass one race ago for the race win. We're going to see if it happens one more time. I don't think it's going to happen, as the 53 is pushing hard as he can, but it's not going to matter as the 12 takes down the win here tonight at Concord. A little bit of a bumper tag for him as he crosses the line. The 53 comes home in the second spot, followed by the number 6. Then it's the 5 and the 16 to round out your top 5.
Johnny Gregory. In car number 12, taking a checkered flag on his cross into the main grandstand area.